You know that feeling when you scroll through a dozen glossy listings, each one promising a restaurant-quality ice experience at home, only to end up with a countertop box that spits out a handful of half-melted nuggets that never make it past the first cocktail? I've been there, and that's why I wanted to dig a little deeper before I hit add to cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Scotsman C0322MA Prodigy is marketed as a cube-style, air-cooled, self-contained ice maker. In plain language, that means you get a freestanding unit that doesn't need a water line hooked up to a wall or a dedicated drain. You just pour water in, turn it on, and let it do its thing. For anyone who lives in an apartment, a small office, or a condo where permanent plumbing isn't an option, that kind of plug-and-play freedom is the biggest draw. It also means the machine can be moved around, which is handy if you host a weekend barbecue and need to park it near the grill instead of the kitchen counter. What really matters in the real world is how that promise translates to everyday use. The first thing I noticed in the unboxing video was the footprint, roughly the size of a large microwave, with a clear front door that flips open for easy access. That size is big enough to sit on a kitchen island without crowding other appliances, but still small enough to tuck under a standard counter if you need to free up space. The air-cooled design eliminates the need for a water reservoir to vent steam, so you don't have a noisy little pump rattling around the back. In practice, the unit hums at a low, steady pitch that you can almost forget is there, which is a relief if you're putting it next to a living room TV or a home office desk. The real test, though, is the ice itself. Scotsman's reputation in commercial settings is solid. They've been making bar-grade machines for decades. This model claims to produce cube-style ice, which is the clear, 1-inch cubes you see in cocktail bars that melt slowly and don't water down drinks. In the videos and the few user photos that are out there, you can see the cubes are uniform and fairly large, which is exactly what you want for a whiskey on the rocks or a highball. Because the unit is air-cooled, the ice comes out dry, not wet, which means you get that clean look without having to dump a tray of slushy water before you can serve the next round. One practical strength is how fast it cycles. In a typical home setting, you'll see the first batch of cubes in about 68 minutes after you press start, and the machine can keep up with a modest party of 6 to 8 people, churning out a full tray roughly every 15 minutes. If you're a casual entertainer who likes to keep a pitcher of sangria or a bucket of mixed drinks ready, that cadence is more than sufficient. It also means you don't have to pre-make ice days in advance and worry about it getting freezer burned. However, there are hidden trade-offs that become clear once you think about the long-term routine. Because the unit is self-contained, you have to refill the water reservoir manually. The tank holds enough for a few batches before you need to top it up, which isn't a problem if you keep a pitcher of water nearby, but it does add a step you won't find on a built-in plumbed system. Also, the air-cooled condenser needs space around it for proper airflow. If you push the machine up against a wall or tuck it into a tight cabinet, you'll notice the unit running hotter and the ice output slowing down. That's a design nuance that isn't obvious from a photo on a product page. Maintenance is another area where reality can diverge from marketing copy. The ice bucket slides out easily for cleaning, and the interior is stainless steel, which resists staining and odors. Still, because it's a compact unit, you'll need to clean the water reservoir and the drip tray regularly to avoid mineral buildup, especially if you have hard water. A quick rinse every few weeks is enough, but neglecting it can lead to cloudy cubes or a faint taste that some users have reported with similar models. The good news is that the machine has a built-in reminder light that flashes when it's time for a cleaning cycle, so you're not left guessing. Who should buy the Scotsman C0322MA? If you're a home bartender, a small-scale party host, or someone who runs a boutique office kitchen where a permanent ice line isn't feasible, this is a solid middle ground between a cheap countertop bin that just freezes water in a tray and a full-size commercial ice machine that costs a small fortune. It's also a nice fit for families who want a reliable source of clear ice for kids' drinks without having to lug a bag of ice from the grocery store every weekend. Who might skip it? If you live in a